Good evening and welcome to the Litchfield Recreation Commission meeting tonight, Tuesday, October 22nd. We'll start with a call to order. I have member Jeff Town.
Present.
Secretary Judy Brennan.
Present.
Member Andy Ruggles.
Present.
Vice Chair, right? Yeah, Vice
Yeah,
Chair
right.
Peter Ames.
Present.
And I am the lead chair, Chris Burns. I am present as well. Now we'll ask to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next up, we have the approval of the minutes from our last meeting, which was October 8th. Everybody have a chance to review those?
Yeah.
We did,
We did,
yes.
yeah.
I remember seeing them. I'll abstain.
I-
We got them maybe
Checking the regular
Thursday or Friday. Came out maybe right before I sent the agenda. Maybe after.
Oh, okay.
On that time. I looked through it, I didn't see anything. It was such a quick meeting, but it was like 5 pages of minutes. I guess we talked a lot, but talked quickly.
Yeah,
Oh,
they came out, Matt sent those on the 20th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from October 8th.
I'll second.
All right, any discussion, changes, edits?
Not through my quick
No, I looked through them.
read of them.
Did not see any myself. So, all those in favor of accepting the minutes?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? It passes 302. Up next, we will open up public input. Did you want to talk about football first? No? Okay. All right, perfect. So we will close public input. We have no facility or field requests to discuss, so we will move on to.
We do have a few dates that came in though to verify.
Okay,
And I had already done the agenda.
Mhm.
So I got the dates of LMS playoff games. They've already reserved the field, but, the first responders are supposed to be notified when we have any playoff games or anything
Yep.
larger than that. So the 25th is a definite. And I did let them know, they had to let fire know, they CC'd us on that email, so that's all set.
yep, I saw those emails from Dan. Looks like they're uncertain as of yet if the games will be at Dara or Campbell.
Yeah.
But we have the dates.
But the only thing that needed to be done was for first responders to be notified.
Yep.
The CHS ropes course training is going to take place on Thursday, November 7th. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they're going to be at the Salem course and the Auburn course, so only one day here.
Okay.
Is irrigation turned off now?
I have not
It
seen
probably won't
run.
hit them, but, and they'll be out of the way if there's any mowing or anything being done, because they'll be
In the woods. Yeah, that's a good question. I have not been down in a field to see that the irrigation has been running.
okay.
They're
And
all
then,
winterized.
There.
Yeah.
The Halloween Jamboree, soccer notified us in an email, and after last year, the fire department said they didn't need to fill out the form, but Kim wants us still to notify first responders when there's going to be big groups somewhere. So I didn't reply to that email. I just, and I didn't check if whoever's on October replied to them, but they do need to at least send an email to the fire and police and let them know that it's happening and on that date. I think that fire and police decided last year they didn't need any extra coverage, so they don't need to do the form, but we're still supposed to, just as a courtesy, or whatever group is using it, let them know.
Okay.
So,
That's the 9th, right?
I didn't go back and even check, because I figured whoever was on October was gonna take care of that, October emails.
I think Mike is, right?
No, Mike is
No,
November.
that's me.
That's me. Oh.
For October.
So yeah, they just have to just send an email, just so that they're aware. And they're not like, oh, why is all that traffic entering there and why is it full today?
Yep.
They've already, told them last year, you don't need to fill out the form, you don't need the coverage, but we're still supposed to do that, just as a
Do you bring in
courtesy.
any additional bathrooms for that, or is that something?
That's
the
their
league's gonna do?
responsibility.
Perfect. Anything else on facility and fields? No? Okay, we will move on to old business. Maintenance project list. Judy wrote up on the second page. Items that we need to take a look at and tackling. Starting at Talent Hall. The hole in the wall in the bathroom, in the women's room. We need to get that patched. The urinal in the men's room needs to be repaired. Who have we used for plumbing in the past for bathroom repairs? Call?
Don't recall.
We'll reach out to the town on that.
Yeah, I think it's just a contractor that Kim
Yeah.
has been working with.
The hole in the wall, do we have anything to patch that up, the one in the women's?
So I had purchased some, I don't remember if it was plywood or sheetrock to use to patch that up originally. I think it was plywood. But when I walked in and the other hole was patched, I never
Yeah.
even thought of looking in the stall. So I don't recall what I did with that plywood. It might be in Talent. I know
I
I
was gonna
spray
say, I
painted it
cleaned
white.
up the storage room.
Yep.
I cleaned out the storage room and refilled the first aid stuff.
Thank
And
you.
there were there's two squares, is that what you had bought?
Yes.
So I put them up against where the pickleball cabinet is.
Okay.
Because I thought, I wonder if these were Chris's and to fill that, so didn't want to have to spend more money if that's what that was.
That's probably.
I don't even think the painting matters, just because we found the girls sticking their arms in to see how far they could
Yeah.
get into that.
I don't think anybody's worried about aesthetics at Talent Hall.
No, as long as it's patched, it's safe.
So, I mean, if the plywood's down there, I can probably get down there at some point too.
I think we
that.
should at least do it before Christmas in Litchfield,
Mm-hmm.
because we'll be opening that up for bathrooms.
I think I have basketball practice there Thursday night. I'll check it out. I'll bring my saw down, maybe put it together.
I don't know why, when the plumbing wasn't done and they cut the holes, why they wouldn't.
That's because they're plumbers.
Because they're
Oh,
plumbers.
the plumbers. So, but who, they cut the holes out, right?
Yeah,
The squares, couldn't just save them and push them back in.
pretty standard.
Yeah,
I
they're
don't know.
not
All right.
usually gonna patch anything. Not as neatly as a painter.
I'm
would.
probably the only one who saw the one in the stall, because you guys aren't in
Yeah, we don't spend much time in there.
women's bathroom.
All right, so we'll tackle that. I can reach out to Kim about the urinal. The heating system, Andy, thank you so much to you and your son for.
Oh, no
cleaning
problem.
Yeah,
trees
thank
and
you for
brush around
cleaning
there.
that up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, looks
He loved it.
1,000 times better already. So the next step, I guess, is exploring the cost to build some sort of an awning or covering over that.
And I don't know that we're gonna be able to do everything this fall. We're gonna have to pick and choose what we have the funds for and what's a priority.
Is there somebody who wants to maybe tackle that end of it, at least getting some estimates to have something built over that?
I can look into it. It's possible, maybe at the same time, they could look at an estimate for the shed,
The roof.
like the
Yeah.
roof of the shed,
Okay,
kind of use the two together.
Do it all at once.
okay.
Yeah. I have a feeling it's gonna be way more than we anticipate, but
Possibly. The bathroom, the porta potty pickup, we gotta check with Kim on when that's gonna happen. They're gonna pick up everything except for the one down at Dara, right? That stays
Yeah,
year
that
round?
one stays for the winter. And I'm assuming if we choose to go with the other company, that'll be picked up before January 1st.
The one
and-
there, yeah, before we switch over.
So, I can check on the dates of those to make sure that's gonna happen, so we don't get any extra charges if you want.
Okay.
Thank you.
Trash barrels at Dara?
Last year, we forgot to bring them in, and they were blown all over the place, and we were getting emails. So if we want to bring them in, I don't know when softball finishes there. Soccer's going to be finished by November 1st. We can bring them in, and then Spirit of Litchfield can just bring them out for their event
What they
and
need.
bring them back in. We don't have to do
Baseball
it.
has little chains and they're hooked to the fence. I don't know if it's worth investing, $50 into to,
Just to keep it from being tipped.
yeah.
Yeah.
Keeps them from blowing away.
Instead of bringing them in.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them need to be moved for events, though, like Spirit of Litchfield would sometimes take some of the ones over by softball and move them over to where their tables and stuff are, and then move them back, but it's up to you guys what you,
Well, ours have a key, so you can just undo them. But then you'd have to keep a record of said key.
Yeah, right.
Keep track of the key.
Where do they store them normally?
we usually just stack them up and put them in the shed.
Yeah, I mean, I think
That
that's
works,
probably
too.
easy enough. At least for the winter.
Okay, I'll take care of those, but when do we want to do, when does softball end?
I
Fall?
believe all softball activities will be done down there, after next week.
Okay, and then, FLMS is using it for soccer, that will be done, so I'll do it around the 1st or right after the 1st, and I'll let Spirit of Litchfield know they can grab what they need for Christmas in Litchfield and pull them out of the shed. And place them and put them back.
Just checking the softball schedule.
Baseball's done. I know that.
So 90% of softball will be done down there after next week.
Okay,
The 16U Plex team has 3 more practices left down there. The 3rd, 7th, and 10th.
10th of November?
Yeah.
Okay, so after
So they
the
probably
10th.
just need the one there.
Okay,
When's the Spirit of Litchfield event?
December 7th.
December 7th, okay.
All right, potholes prior to Christmas in Litchfield, Highway Department. So when you say potholes, you talking about in the driveway or in the?
Yeah, in
dirt
front
area?
of the dirt area. Yeah, we had them filled last year because it's dark.
So is that something you
and we
think
didn't
we
want
might be
people-
able to do with the tractor?
I think, yeah, last year Highway Department did it, but after last night's Board of Selectmen meeting, I'm hesitant to ask
Okay,
for anything.
yeah,
We just gotta get fill from somewhere. I don't know, dig it off the beach and, I don't know. They're not as big as they were last year. We've really tried to keep people from driving down there, so, but there's still some in the dark.
okay,
Someone's gonna fall in a roll, so.
yeah. We can try and use material from the beach, I guess. We
And
can
just pack
probably
it
reach
into
out
the
to
gonna be
holes, yeah. It's
sand.
not like we need a whole lot.
Is it sand or is it crushed stone? What would it be?
The beach is
It's
just mostly
packed
sand.
dirt,
It's not gonna stay if it's just dirt or sand.
So-
It
Maybe
really
we
needs
could
to be
fundraise for
gravel.
You can be in charge, Andy, in
Yeah.
our spare time.
What are you gonna bake?
I don't know. I'll do a bake sale so we can get some dirt to fill in some pothole.
Put up a
So,
bake
I
sale
mean, I
table
can-
with
I
Christmas.
can grab the
in
tractor
Litchfield.
one day and see if I can fill them in with just back drag it a little bit and fill them in.
Are they that big or would just like a bucket and like,
We need more than a bucket.
yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah, the tractor will make short work of it.
Oh, sure.
I just don't want anyone stepping into it in the dark and rolling an ankle
Okay.
that night.
The river access closure.
I reached out to the fire
You did?
department,
Okay. Do you know when
and,
they're gonna do that?
they're gonna let us know,
Okay.
and then I'll post it.
Slide replacement?
So, we're, awaiting hearing on a possible used, in good shape slide that would save us some money.
Oh, nice.
So I think we can move that to spring anyway, because if something comes in the next month or so, I don't see us digging up the cement posts and putting that in now anyway.
Well,
And-
if it's a used piece that is fairly inexpensive, it's probably worth jumping on.
Right, that's what I'm waiting on.
Just get it and
Yeah,
store it
we'll get
somewhere.
it, and then, I don't know, throw it in my basement or something.
Is it the same?
Jay will have it fastened to the deck
It would
out
be the
back.
same, it's the same company we purchased from, it's just sometimes they do get, some used, what he
Some
says are in
upgrades
good.
or something.
Yeah, in good shape, they would pass any type of inspection, and we can save several $1,000s, so I would rather hold out for that, especially since we can't really do anything in the winter anyway. And if it pops up, I'll let you guys know and we can make a quick decision.
Perfect, thank you. The shed, we already talked about that, Andy. You're gonna
Yeah, I'll see what
see
they
if we can
say.
get the same company to look at that. The pickleball and tennis courts, closure dates, remove the nets. So I know pickleball in the last year anyway, they ended up removing the nets on their own.
Yep.
With, with our guidance, as to when it should
Yeah.
happen. I mean, with the weather we had out there, I know it was packed down there today.
Yeah, it's been busy.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think, it's not obviously gonna stay this nice, but,
Should we just email Ron and just say, do it
Yeah.
at your own discretion? or-
I
but
think we
prior
said
to-
November 1st last year.
yeah, I think that's been pretty typical. I mean, I think that if there's any snow in the forecast, it's probably worth taking them
It'll come
down,
down.
because they do have people that use them even when it's
Yeah.
cold out.
Yeah, we
And
don't want
those-
anybody
they're-
dragging shovels
They're good about, jumping on that quick
Okay.
if they need to. For the tennis courts, I mean, I think we can probably safe to take those down just about any time. So, tied up
Does
this
pickleball
week.
use those, like, I know pickleball uses the courts, but is there ever any overflow to the tennis courts to keep them open? I mean, I'm not too worried about snow.
I haven't
Thanksgiving.
seen any pickleball use on those courts since the
Yeah.
pickleball courts went in.
But
there
tennis
has
still
been
gets
tennis
used.
use. Yeah,
Yeah.
there has been tennis use. I didn't see if there was any down
We got
there.
new nets, right?
I have the nets. I haven't installed them yet. We were waiting.
I know,
until
should we,
spring.
should we leave the nets up and then just take them down in the
Awesome.
spring, put the new ones up?
Yeah.
Because they're gonna get tossed anyway, right?
Yeah,
Gives
it'll
people-
save us some time. if they're
Gives
getting
people an
tossed in.
option to,
Yeah.
Yeah,
if it's
because
a nice spring day.
That's fine.
We'll probably get
Leave
100
'em.
emails saying that we left the nets up, but
I know one of the nets has some damage. The top is a little torn, so I can go and tape that. So at least it
yeah, put some
survives
duct
a
tape
little
on
bit.
it.
Avoid duct tape. It'll blend in. I did it to the other one, beginning of the year. So, yeah, that's not a bad idea. Fixed cover outlets, outdoor outlets?
That was something that Jeff had.
Yeah, there's
emailed about.
some outdoor outlets on Talent Hall, and there's the weatherproof covers on them, they're just broken off.
Okay.
And I think the outlets are still live, so it's probably not a great thing to have them out in the rain.
Yeah,
Or is it?
It's all cinder block, it's not gonna burn.
So do we
It's
want
a
to
thought.
get, is that, you just need to
I-
get new
I can-
covers?
Yeah, I can
The
do
outlets are
that.
fine?
Just, as far as I know, the outlets are fine. I haven't looked at it closely in a while, but
I can say that for softball, we did use the one that's near the front right corner.
Yeah.
We used that, I think in the springtime before a tournament, because there was all sorts of water on the field that we had to clean up. We ran extension cords from there over to the field. So that one worked.
oh, okay.
Yeah, that one
And
worked.
you mentioned the pavilion, are those all set, or do we need to check those?
I need to look at that one. I think the one there that was on the post, it might be
Okay.
broken off as well.
Yeah, if you want to.
I can take a look at those
Thanks.
and get the parts if we need them.
And try the heat at Talent.
Yeah, Jeff suggested that too.
I'll be there
Sure.
Thursday. But it should probably go on anyway, right? Because it's getting below
We've had cool
freezing at
nights.
night, so.
Yeah.
Probably should be on in some degree.
All right, yeah, thank you, Andy.
What did we set it at? Do you remember?
I don't.
It's low
I
65?
think it's actually written on the door, on the cover for it.
I'll read the manual.
I think it's written.
Yeah. 63 or 65, something like
I'll
that.
bring some new batteries down too to change
Yeah,
that,
that's,
just in case.
Okay, thank you.
If someone's gonna go down to do the potholes, let me know, and if I'm home, I'll come down and help too, then someone can stay on the tractor and I can do the groundwork.
Okay, yeah, we'll figure out a day and time to do that. I think my weekend's probably shot this weekend, but
Yeah, this
Maybe
weekend's no
we
good for
can
me
either.
either.
following week should be all right. All right, anything else on items that need addressing before the
Oh,
winter?
the old business, Paul Kelly is ordering the AED, the outdoor AED. So, we need to determine where we want the funds to come from. Is that gonna be part of impact fees because it's part of the pickleball project? Or should it be taken out of somewhere else?
I believe we have some left from that project
Yeah.
and impact fees, so it probably can't hurt to take it from there.
I would say take it from,
We should
I think
reach
they're
out,
first, yep.
yeah, we should reach out to,
I'll check with
Ken and
Karen White.
and see what's available.
Okay, I know, I saw it recently, and I think
Yeah.
it's over 1,000, so it should
I
cover
believe
it, and
so.
it should cover whatever we decide to get for a cover or inside, whatever
Yeah,
fire
not a bad
department
idea.
decides. Okay, so I'll check with Karen, and, if the funds are there, which they should be in impact fees, it will come out of that, because it's part of that project.
perfect, thank you. All right.
And we need to find a cabinet for it?
Then we will look at cabinets, because even when we get it, we won't put it out for the winter.
Right.
Pickleball with their nurses will probably run a few trainings inside Talent Hall.
So it's up to
And
us to
then
get the
we'll work
cabinet.
with the fire department, first responders, how they want to work on how we keep that locked up, if it's a code to open it, what they want to do. And I've taken pictures of various ones at other towns with what they do, but we can adjust that when we.
Okay.
when
There
we
is
get
one
to
in
it.
Talent Hall, right, inside?
There is one, but it's not behind a locked case, but the outdoor one would have to be.
Really?
Well, it has to be
In a case.
in a case.
It's
Has to be in a
We
case.
can leave
Locked
it, it
or-
doesn't have to
I
be
think it has
locked,
to
but all
be.
the ones I've checked have either had, you dial a number for a passcode or because of destruction of them.
Yeah, so I still struggle with that because,
But we can work with, our first responders can work with us on that, on what's gonna work, be best, and if
We're
we,
gonna recommend.
if it's not somehow locked up, because you wanna make sure people can access it, but I don't know how
Yeah.
to deal with vandalism of that is very expensive.
it is, I get that. But it only matters in the moment, right? So any delay or fumbling, a
Right.
phone call, it's,
If you're waiting for a call back, you might as well not bother. right? It's-
yeah,
It's almost,
you have like 2 minutes, right? And
Yeah.
then. All right, so we'll
So
do
we
what
buy
fire
a
says,
non-
but.
Then maybe we buy just a protective casing to put it in where you just open the door and use it and. But we don't have any cameras, like we have cameras at Dara and Talent. We
Right.
don't have anything there. If that gets destroyed, it's expensive, but it needs to be easy to access, so I don't.
So actually, that brings up a good point. One of the things I'd like to add to the list is exploring the cost of a camera system upgrade at Talent.
Yeah.
We've had events
Over the
down there. I
winter.
know they have the cameras that are on the light pole, on the communications tower pole,
Yep.
but they're not good enough to see the driveway. I mean, they'll see it, but you can't get a lot of description
Right.
or identification off of them.
So on a winter agenda, additional cameras.
I can look into that.
Okay. I'll put it on after the new year.
Yeah. All right, we will move on to new business, starting with a new member application. So, why don't you come on up? Start with your name and address, and,
Justin Brunel, 21 Bear Run Drive.
all right, and thank you very much for offering to volunteer here. What gets you interested in helping out?
Grew up in town, recently moved back 3-4 years ago. Kids are playing sports, really just want to get more involved.
Perfect. Does anybody have any questions for Justin?
No, we definitely need the help.
So as far as space, I know we have space for, we have open members, or is it just alternates left?
3 alternates, I think.
The alternates?
We have 3 alternates, and I think 2 or 3 of us are up in March
Yep.
of 2025, full position.
So if nobody has any questions for Justin, we'll take a vote to approve the application, and then you'll have to go in front of the board of selectmen and get sworn in.
I'll make a motion to approve Justin.
I'll second.
Any
Are you
further-
okay with an alternate position to start until the board position opens up? Okay.
Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? Passes 5-0-0. Thanks, Justin.
Cool.
Thank you.
So,
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll send
Yeah,
I'll
thank you.
send an email to the board of selectmen, and the next meeting, I believe, is the date.
Second Tuesday in November.
Well, theirs is the Monday. So
Oh, it's
11th,
for
I
the
think?
selectmen, yeah.
I think it's the 11th. Okay. So we'll get you on the agenda for that, and hopefully you're available on the 11th to go and get sworn in, and we'll have you at the meeting on the 12th.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you, Justin.
I thought I had listed portable bathrooms under new business, because we had to vote. I thought I
Yes,
put it with the budget committee, but I didn't, so just so.
Okay. We'll add that at the end. All right, so the budget committee voting.
On the budget cuts. I didn't know we were up that night for cuts. I just happened to catch it on TV, live TV. So, they did cut the portables. We all know that. And, I guess, a couple people had mentioned maybe getting a warrant article to cover that, but, I don't know where we want to go from there, but we've lost, that 7,000 is 5%, I believe, of our budget.
Yep.
To date, we're the group that's lost the highest percentage so far. They're not done cutting.
We have the smallest budget to begin with.
I think conservation's smaller than us,
Oh.
but they don't have to maintain fields and grass and,
And provide services to,
So, and we're in danger of that $8,000 for maintenance at Talent Hall. They're like, well, it doesn't say what it's gonna cover, and we did answer as much as we could the night we showed up, that we didn't have much notice. And we basically were told to, or recommended that we have big fundraiser to cover anything that needs to be done at Talent Hall. And I think Talent Hall is a town-owned building, just like this is a town-owned building. We do the scheduling there, we maintain it as best as we can with minimal funds, we're putting in our own time to fix things. If somebody sprayed graffiti on this building, I don't think anybody would be saying, you need to go have a fundraiser to get, I think I asked Steve Dean at the last meeting, what would be done if graffiti was here, and he's like, well, we'd call highway department to come and clean off the graffiti if they could, it would be taken care of, money would be found somewhere in maintenance. But I do think that, I know it's getting old, but it's still very usable, those cinder blocks aren't going anywhere, and
not for nothing, it's been used by 95% of our community,
all
either past,
ages.
present, or
It's
future.
not just kids' sports.
It's not.
And with.
There's a lot of individuals that use that.
And if we're expected to maintain it and we're being told $8,000 is too much, and we're doing a lot of stuff, fixing a lot of things that we can ourselves to save money.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know how to go about removing graffiti, but after Board of Selectmen meeting and the talk with rec using highway department, I wouldn't even approach that to be done, but it's been sitting there, forever.
And
But
saying
there's no
that,
funds to do it, but we don't have time on top of what we're doing to do a massive fundraiser. We can barely get to some of our own sponsored events and
Patch
keep
a
up
hole in
with
the
our
bathtub.
meetings and everything that we're fixing up and even wiping down porta potties. So cutting the portable bathrooms, we can put in a warrant article. I feel like there's a way around it. We can do some charging. I don't think the leagues or teams should be paying for the bathroom that's used by the playground. That's community use. I think it should be covered by us. And when we do the fishing derby with conservation, we pay that out of our budget too. And Kim did fight to keep some money in that line item because it was recommended, the motion was made to put it down to zero, which means we wouldn't have the money for the one at the fishing derby, and the leagues would have to pay for the community one, which is used by anybody who uses Dare Pond for fishing, or the playground, which that shouldn't be on them. But so there is enough money in there now for us to maintain the.
and it's another
The other.
thing that we have to manage is figuring out who's going to be responsible for the costs of the porta potties at each field. And
When I emailed Kim this week so that we would know a direction to go in, the town would own the contract, the town would do any billing, what we would do is give them, they would break it down into 4 seasons, the existing porta potties, other than the playground one, we would stay responsible for, and the fishing derby when we get that one for, that day or two. The existing porta potties that are left would be divided by all groups. So that would be everything from healthy kids to our town teams, pickleball, the adult leagues to everybody who uses our fields, and divide it up. They would look at it quarterly, who's using what. So I guess we would have to give them who's using our fields and where they fall quarterly. They take care of the billing because it's going to come out of their account. We don't have that line item even for them to reimburse us. So that's the way it would go. I don't know what would happen if somebody, we've had some messes.
Now, what if a
left.
league decided, hey, I don't want to I don't want to be part of that?
I think it's not gonna be an option, because if the league's got their own, there would be too many different companies we're dealing with. And then that was, let's say soccer got one, and lacrosse said, we don't want to get one, and then they're using the one that soccer got. That becomes an issue. So it sounds like it's not gonna be an option. But Chris and I did a good job, I thought, when that first budget meeting, presenting the budget, talking about how baseball has donated over $20,000 the last 2 years for upgrades of fields, and softball over $10,000 the last year for drainage and infield mix, and pickleball's almost at $10,000 just this year. That, they do, a lot of these leagues and teams do give back.
And not to mention the volunteer hours.
Not just for their thing. Pickleball donates to us a lump of money every year. They did the storage room at Talent that every league uses. They paid the paint, it's not like these leagues aren't already throwing in money. Basketball replaced the outdoor hoops, they always do. It's not like they're just using and not giving anything. But if we don't have a choice, we don't have a choice. If it's taken from us, and it's gonna be on the town and not on our backs at least. We'll just be responsible for covering the community use one at the playground. So it's kind of like really out of our hands.
Yeah, so if I could make a
Decided war
couple
to go.
comments. Yeah, so on talent and the maintenance budget, we are not maintaining talent. We are trying to keep it open to prevent catastrophic problems there. It is on the edge, and we're doing our best to keep it open. So we're not doing any preventative maintenance. So that budget is not going to help with the long-term vitality of that facility. We just want to keep it open. On the fields, and budget cuts, most of our budget is field maintenance, right? So if we're looking to make a difference, that is where you would look, right?
Yep.
Which at this point means taking a field offline to make an actual tangible difference, which we don't want to do. But I really struggle with looking at basic sanitation as the place to cut. I think that if we're gonna have a field open, you have to have basic sanitation. We have a fee schedule in place for leagues already, so I don't want to put more on leagues, which ends up putting more on kids. And we want to make sports accessible for them. I think the leagues are doing a good job managing the costs as best they can. I don't really want to add to that. So I don't want to go this route, but what would it mean, just for discussion's sake, if there was one of the fields taken offline to reduce the maintenance budget on field maintenance? Because that's where the money would be saved. So I'm not supporting this or advocating. I'm just wondering what would it? Yeah, we say this field is no longer something we're gonna maintain. If
It's going to be more traffic. Yeah, for instance, say you took Brickyard, because that's probably the least.
That's the most logical out of all of them.
Right,
Yeah.
there's not a parking lot there, it's the toughest to access. That means you're pushing everybody to Sawmill or Dara, so it's gonna
Right.
get twice the usage. Yeah. That's
Well,
not
our usage, scheduling is so tight with everything.
understood.
Yeah, I don't know where we'd put more. Unless we work something out where we could use a high school field, because they use our softball fields. Right, and their practices and games are after school, and
But it wouldn't be our responsibility, it would be on the leagues to find places to play because they would have less accessibility to other fields. You know?
Before taking the avenue of taking a field off a line, would it make more sense to take off the area in front of Town Hall and the river access and those areas that we're paying for? We can do those with the tractor periodically, or?
I think
Yeah.
conservation is doing it quite often in between as it is. We probably have to step up with helping that.
I mean, if that's part of our contract, right, those areas?
It is, yeah. It's
Well-
$12,000.
Okay, so that's, I mean,
Something around there,
Yeah,
right?
that would be better probably than removing a field, but we're under contract. Can we,
For next year?
Yeah,
yeah, I think we're on a 3-year. It was
I
part
think we
of the free
could
well,
certainly
the free irrigation well.
talk to the contractor and find out if that's something that he'd be willing to give up.
I mean, that would make sense to me,
Yeah.
more than a field where we're not gonna be able to fit everybody.
Start,
I don't know.
start at the river access, and if the area in front of Town Hall has to come out too, that's, I wouldn't want the fields over at Dara to look immaculate, and then the area in front of, Town Hall to look like a jungle, but,
Yeah.
it's,
Well,
Yeah.
you mean in front of Talent Hall,
Well,
just
it-
that patch of grass or all along the fence, the out?
The outside of the fence.
The way that portion of the contract's written, it's the other areas of the field, basically areas of fields that aren't
Okay.
irrigated, but they're grass.
Yeah.
So you're talking like the circle when you pull down in Sawmill, or around the fences, around the outside.
Outside of the fences.
highway department does the tennis court area, right?
No,
No.
that's part of
That's
the,
part of the contract too.
Highway Department does part of the tennis. They do the sign area in front. I've been down there when they've done it.
I
And they
think
do
it's if they
around
have time, they'll zip over and do it, but I don't think it's necessarily, I think it's part of the contract.
I thought that area wasn't.
I can't remember, I don't,
No, I even remember
been a
them
while
doing
since I
it
looked
with
at
the
it.
pickleball opening. All the mowers came over to,
That was the highway
Well-
department was doing it.
yeah, the highway does that part.
Yeah, I thought they were doing it at the same time
They do it when they do along the bike path, right?
Yeah.
They come around the sign, around tennis.
You wanna reach out to the contractor and
yeah,
see what that might entail?
and see if he has any other ideas.
Yeah, I mean,
And then-
I'd hate to cut back on the quality of the fields themselves, 'cause
Agreed.
they've done a great job, and certainly, I think knocking one field off entirely is just, you're putting a much bigger burden on the rest of the fields.
Agreed.
I mean, you're right, you could push the other fields, and then scheduling would be,
Scheduling.
it's already
is hard.
tight.
So, I don't understand how, so let's say that happens and we're able to cut off, let's say 10,000 or 12,000, and then because that line item now for the portables is set at whatever it is,
Next year.
and that's what the budget committee says, and I don't know what the.
But it's a
Board of
bottom
Selectmen's
line
gonna say.
budget, I believe.
It's the bottom line,
Yeah,
so we
so that's a
can
good
just
point.
take the money from somewhere else and use it for the portables that we save somewhere else?
That's my understanding, right, bottom line budget.
Yeah.
But then I worry about, again, the other things that allow us to keep the playground's talent open, right? Like, we're on the margins as it is, so it's a risk. I just worry about having to shut down something at some point, right?
Yeah, it's gonna happen, that's the route they're
That's what,
headed.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, once it gets to a safety issue, then I don't think we have a choice. And if we don't have funds to address the safety issue, then,
No, but if
Have
that
to shut it.
8,000 is gone and, a couple times things have happened with the heat, or we had to have the.
Yeah, and it's
pipes fixed
$10,000
with the
when that
leak,
happens.
and if-
yeah, that's it.
It's only,
you know,
eight-
done for the year,
it's only
right?
8,000, but we can do some stuff with some of the smaller stuff, or something that comes up as $2,000, we at least have that money. We can't have a building and not have some kind of maintenance fund for it.
Right, and we can't say now what we're gonna use it for, because we don't know what's gonna
We
break.
have to prioritize.
Exactly.
We know it's
Right,
gonna
like-
be something.
Like our list here, we can't do everything that even needs to be done. So we kind of tend to wait and prioritize what we have money to spend on. And do
And the other option is to go to the deliberative session and put the money back in the budget. If we accept the cuts that are proposed for this year, then that's gonna be the starting point for next year.
Right.
That's gonna be subject to cuts next year. And it's, it's a march downhill that we don't wanna take.
Exactly. So I think, if you want to reach out to
I
the
will.
contractor about that, see what we
Thanks,
can do.
Andy.
I can certainly go to the deliberative session and plead our case, for,
I'll be there with you.
thank you.
Yeah, I'll be there too.
both
I
options,
will
so.
too.
More the merrier, more the merrier.
There.
All right, anything else on budgets?
No, just, their next meeting, I can't remember when it is, but they're going through and attacking budget again for more cuts. It doesn't mean they won't come back to us and cut more, so.
All right, well, I'll keep a lookout for that as well.
I think if we're not looking for other groups' agendas, we're not, like, the first budget one where we had to present, Chris found out
Yeah.
the night before, and it wasn't from someone town-oriented. Jason came across it and said, hey, do you guys know you're presenting tomorrow night? Because I just saw we are. And I said, I don't know. And
How
he
is
said,
there
oh.
no communication about that? I've been saying that for a long time, because I feel like every year this happens.
Yeah, so I mean, I get emails with the agenda for the Board of Selectmen meeting, but I don't recall seeing anything for budget committee meetings.
But the thing is, other people knew. Library knew to be there.
Yeah.
And who is their fire department or
Police
police? They swapped, so they knew what their nights were. But, and then Chris was like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna be late from work. And so then I was like, okay, I'll be there. But it was like 3 hours before the meeting and you're trying to get yourself organized, and he
Yeah,
didn't
but-
make it. We did the best we could, and then we didn't know we were on the cut list, but we were listed as cut on the cut
Right,
list.
so they're all posted, right? So let's just collectively say, yeah, we should check all those agendas going forward, because a couple of
Okay,
them
so
have.
that's, okay, so it's just a posted thing we have to check monthly to see if they,
I think
Or
they're meeting.
before, yeah, so yes, communication's a issue, but I think just going forward during this season, let's just try to all
And I don't know
check
if
on it.
budget's
'Cause
every other week, or if they're meeting every week right
They're
now.
doing a lot right now.
Yeah.
They're doing a lot right
So-
now, so we should, just, I think,
And at
monitor it
least if
and not
we
assume
know
we're gonna
we're
get
on
told.
there,
Yeah.
we can, one of us can be available at least to answer questions or to clarify
Yep.
things. Like last night with Board of Selectmen, we didn't have anyone to clarify that. We're just not demanding 3 or 4 days' work immediately from the highway department, because that's not the case at all. And some things can wait longer than, if a tree falls on the property, a property owner's fence, we, that's.
I mean, not for
an
nothing,
emergency,
there's a
but
lot of volunteer work that's happened to clean up stuff,
There is.
like all those tickets that get put out, the list there.
I think we have to start using our QR code every time we maintain something. And then that's our
Use
proof
that as-
of, we fixed this, we fixed that, we did this on our own, even if it's a property check, which Mike does all the time at Sawmill.
Right.
It's time we're taking to maintain our properties, and it'll show what we're doing. And you can just do, maintenance completed and list what it is and take a picture or whatever, but we do a lot. Even just this list, there's very little. We're not hiring anybody. We are gonna look at some, get some estimates from things that are bigger than what we can do, but at least we'll have a running list of what we've done, how many hours, and it's our proof when we're kind of like, people are like, well, what are you gonna do with that $8,000? Well, we've done this,
So the meeting last week, I don't know if that was a special meeting from them, because it's listed as the fourth Thursday of every month on the website.
So they've gotta be meeting more often.
Yeah.
Because the week after we went to present, that's when fire department was the week after us, and a whole list of other people. And then last week, so they must be meeting just about every week now, because then they had the first round of cuts with the
Okay.
first group, and then I think this week is, I think it's a second group, whoever presented on the second night.
They certainly
So
are
we'll have
well
to just
looked
keep
at 'em.
checking every week, because they're gonna, and I think they did a cutoff time of like 9:30. They were gonna do cuts till 9:30, and then wherever they were gonna be done till the next time. But even if we're not on the agenda, it still might come up.
All right, moving on for now, purchase reimbursements for Judy, $49.99 outdoor locks 4-pack.
I'll make a motion to approve the reimbursement for Judy for $50 or $49.99 for the outdoor locks 4-pack.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Passes 401.
So Andy, I have one for the fence. I meant to bring it tonight. The enclosed area you cleaned out,
Oh,
because that, we don't have a lock on, and we should.
the carton of cigarettes wasn't good enough.
And then there's 3 others, so I got the 4-pack. It was cheaper knowing we would have some other things we've talked about, locking down the porta potty and.
Yep,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yep.
All right, next, we've got the porta potty bathrooms. We need to make a motion and vote on accepting the quote for next year from the new vendor, new old vendor. So, let me pull that back up. So the quote that was sent to me, it looks like it's going to be a total of $6,336, even for the year. That includes the removal during the winter, of all of them except for the one at Town Hall. It does not include any emergency services or emergency cleaning visits. That pricing, pull that up.
So that's one at every field?
That would be, yeah, let me grab the quote.
If it's for all existing that we have now, but at a lower rate and Kim was able to get a lower rate for weekday emergency cleaning and a lower rate if it gets tipped, but we're gonna try to prevent them from being tipped by chaining them. So it was overall
Yeah,
cheaper.
so the fields,
So-
the locations were one at Brickyard, Sawmill, Schaefer.
Yeah, I'm
There's
looking
one at
for
the
quote.
pickleball and one at Sawmill,
and Sawmill.
baseball fields, the Dara. And then, we only bring one in, an extra for the fishing derby.
Yep.
For Spirit of Litchfield, since they're under us, we've been opening up Talent Hall to use the bathrooms there because their
One day.
events are sponsored by us.
So it's, looks like 6 in total, 4 standard size, 2 ADA. The quote doesn't list the exact locations, but that's, I guess that's probably subject by us. The ADA one is at pickleball and one is at Dara,
So one's year-round and one
Standard.
isn't.
correct?
But we will only have money in the budget as of right now for the one. But regardless of if we have the full amount or a partial amount, we need to decide if we're gonna switch
Yeah.
over to this group.
Yep.
The town will manage it I don't know why we wouldn't, it's gonna be less expensive.
Hopefully more thorough too.
Yeah. I'm not cleaning up any more porta potties anymore. I've been trying to save the town money when it's not too bad, but I'm not doing it anymore.
You shouldn't need to.
I know, we shouldn't, but, we are conscious of spending.
So can I get a motion to approve this proposal?
I'll make a motion to approve the new proposal.
I'll second.
So that's not consistent with our budget for next year as we know it today, right?
It is consistent where it would be passed on to the leagues currently, but it's less, it's about $1,000 less than where we were at this year for porta potties.
Yeah, changing vendors makes sense.
Yep.
But approving the contract now, when, I guess that assumes that the leagues are gonna pay for it.
Well, the town is going to
Town's
be
gonna
manage the
manage.
whole contract. We're just gonna be, either if we get the money back, responsible for, the town will take it out of ours, or if it's just the one, then we would have the money to cover one under that.
Yeah, so we're required to have those available, right, for the fields to be open. with the public there and for certainly when there's games being played. So it's just a matter of where the revenue comes from. If it's from our budget or leagues, yeah, but I think approving the contract makes sense.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Passes 4-1-0.
So what, does the town, other than recreation, have bathrooms anywhere?
Porta potties?
There's one at GMS, but I think soccer pays for that one. I'm not sure though.
So that,
Yeah, there is one in the parking lot there,
Right.
but it's not ours.
all right, moving on, we've got, actually, before we move on too far, I sent out an email today, let me pull it up, for, the survey that they're looking for the Greater Manchester Magazine, looking to highlight Litchfield. There's a series of questions in here.
I saw that.
If somebody wants to take the lead on this, or if,
Well, isn't it
Leona-
economic development who's doing it?
it's the Manchester
That's
Chamber
what
of
they said,
Commerce.
yeah, but they
yeah.
they approached the economic development.
Yes, I can make that connection, so I can probably take that
Yeah.
in that case.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was brought up at the Board of Selectmen last night, so that's how I
So
know.
that is,
When's the
that's
due
due
date?
Friday at noon,
Right, okay, thank you.
and it can just be sent back to Kim.
All right.
Thank you.
There didn't seem to be too many questions.
Not too bad.
Just looking through email right now, Matt Sullivan just sent me the, schedule for the budget committee.
Oh, nice. Oh, yep, we got it.
So 17th, next one's gonna be the 24th. So that's this Thursday.
That's Thursday, okay.
And then the 29th is school, I'm sorry, that's school budget. So next town meeting will be 24th. Would anybody possibly be available to make that? I know I can't,
This Thursday?
this Thursday. Yeah.
I can be available.
I think I am.
So that's 6:30, sorry, I'll find it, but yes.
There's no time on this, but I think at least on the website, it says 7.
All right, okay, thank you.
So, thank you.
Yeah. We should double check that time, because I think when we came, it was earlier than that. Wasn't it earlier than
I
7?
thought it was 6:30, yeah.
Yeah,
Now that you say
it
that.
started earlier.
All right, I'll check it, but either way, I'm good for the night.
All right, thank you. Anything else for new business? All right, so we'll move on then. Looks like emails. Jeff, you're gonna round out the month. Next month, we have Mike. In December is Steve Weber. In January, myself. Our next meetings are gonna be November 11th and the 26th, followed by December 10th and the 24th.
We don't want to meet on the
Most likely be
24th, right?
I'm not gonna be available.
No, me either.
Upcoming events, we have the CHS Class of 2004 reunion, which is Saturday, November 9th. They have Talent Hall scheduled from 2 PM to 10 PM.
So we're gonna need someone to kind of liaison with them, open it up, lock it up, make sure it's stocked. Let me see my calendar.
I should be able to do that.
I
on the
should be
9th.
available.
The 9th. I am going to be in Boston.
I can be available to meet them down there.
Okay, thanks.
Go back and lock it up afterwards. And then, let's see, Tour of Lights, Litchfield Tour of Lights, the December 1st through the 31st. So that's all
Oh.
set up.
It hasn't, but we approved it or said we'd participate again at the last meeting, so as soon as I get the email, I will update the registration form for people in town and then submit it all and then do the Litchfield map.
Per Matt Sullivan, 7 PM. Thank you, Matt.
Oh, okay.
And then Christmas in Litchfield, the December 7th. Some volunteers for that.
So 2 items just on dates. So for our next meeting date, it's November 12th, right? 11th is Monday, holiday.
I messed up again and I double checked. I must have gone to like 2025
No
on the
worries.
calendar.
Tuesday at 12.
Man,
I won't
Sorry,
be here
guys.
for that one.
do you want to fire me as secretary?
Nope.
All right,
we do
never,
not.
never.
Not even a little bit.
I
And-
swear I double checked it.
The other date on Spirit of Litchfield, so they originally requested the 14th, but it's now the 7th. I don't know that we officially approved moving it.
I think we did.
Did we? Okay. I've missed a meeting or two in the last month, so.
Yes, I remember the meeting, because what they wanted to do is align it with some stuff the school was doing, so that we could have a whole town-wide Christmas weekend instead of spread over 2 weekends. So it was quite a while ago.
Okay, so the calendar isn't updated. I will do that right now. Thank you.
Thanks, the calendars look good, because I've checked it for a few things.
Yeah, one other item to bring back up to, eventually our recreation website is gonna go away. So we need to, work on backing up our calendar and bringing it over to the new site. I know John
Oh, yeah.
John
that's
had a
another thing
date
that
in mind.
was-
I don't remember when that was, but,
I think it was
Sometime in
paid
November.
yearly, so it's gotta be
thought it was in November.
November. Gotta be
So
soon.
that's something we might need to work on with him,
So
or
we won't have a website anymore.
we won't have our rec website
It'll
anymore. It'll
just
be a
be-
page on the town.
Does
website.
anybody here talk to John frequently?
Maybe.
So wait, like this November, like we've got a month to get things off that onto the town?
I think they have all our properties listed and everything already on the new town website. It's just that, like, you have to search for the calendar. It's not in a spot where
Well,
it's like.
yeah,
in
so
the-
that's probably the biggest thing as far as the calendar, right? Because that sits on the rec.com. And we need to move that
But it's
over.
a
'cause-
Google calendar.
It's a Google
So it's just
calendar.
embedded on there.
Okay, right, so we
You
can
can
switch
access, you
those.
can
It's a
access
link
it
to
from
it.
the town site.
You can,
On
okay,
our
oh,
town
okay.
site, but it's just not obvious. You gotta like scroll down through an area to come to the link.
Okay, but okay. Just don't want to lose anything imminently, but it
Yeah.
sounds like we're okay. All right.
So,
Right.
I think you manage that calendar for us now, right?
Yes,
So-
yeah, but it's the Google site which feeds up to the, okay.
So if that's something you can.
I mean, really, we don't have a ton on our.
No. On our website.
No, it
Yeah.
hasn't been updated. in-
Probably should, since 1980.
Just let it go, yeah, it's okay.
No, I agreed to keep like Facebook updated, but websites are not my thing.
All right, I think that about covers it, unless there's anything else anybody needs or wants to discuss.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
So, we want me to officially get the 24th of December removed from our meeting?
Yeah, I think that's safe to say. Yeah.
Because it has to be posted in
Yep.
places. All right.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed, abstained? We are closed at 5:00. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
Government.